Hi, David again from concertblogger.com. I'm here with Johnny from the Vernons. He's here with us in New York City, all the way from the Gold Coast of Australia. And welcome to our fair shores, as we say. So tell us what's going on with the Vernons, and what's the latest with the band?
Well, we just released our latest video, White Wine, and that is proceeding a much success. It's doing very well.
I've seen it on TV,
yeah,
on the
you
internet.
like it?
I do. I love it.
Yeah.
I've read that it's really a sexy video. It's kind of really got this whole thing going on that is a little bit different than a lot of just straight music videos of the band playing and stuff. You've got like a story behind it.
Yeah, we've got some good people helping out behind the scenes. So
creative minds working alike, you know.
Yeah,
surround yourself with creative minds, and you'll get everything you need.
Yeah. But there's that going on, and then we're just in plans at the moment to do Volume 2, so our next EP, and that should be 6 tracks. We're looking to do that around February, mid-February or early February.
Okay, so summer.
Yeah.
Well, summer in Australia, not around here, but that's all right. So how do you like the weather here in New York? It's a little cold out there today.
Yeah, a little chilly, but it's okay. I've got about 6 layers on.
Enough to take care of business, exactly.
Yeah.
So any plans to tour or to come to the US?
There are. We're sort of very motivated to come to the US because we just love it in general. But I think we're just waiting out for a little bit. You know, we're trying to get a lot of the stuff over the internet first and a bit of a following before.
Get a bit of a following before you start to come to try to make some shows and stuff.
Yeah, I think a lot of bands make the mistake of coming over too early and trying their way in the
and then there's no fan base to even know who you name recognition. You know, someone might look at the Vernons and think that you're a 1960s British pop girl group or something.
That's right.
That
happens, yeah.
So we want them to know that the Vernons are not that anymore, and that there's a whole new version of it.
Yeah.
So tell me, how did you get started in music? How did you get started with doing?
Well, I was always playing. I was always playing solo stuff, more sort of singer-songwriter kind of stuff, and a couple of the boys that already had the band going, they were doing covers gigs. And I went overseas on my gap year after I finished school. I went and worked in the UK doing stuff in pubs over there. Mm-hmm. And then when I got back, one of the boys who was a good friend of mine said, "Do you want to join the covers band?" So I joined that for a little bit, but then I still had solo stuff going, and I said, "Well, hey, I wouldn't mind doing the band thing, with my stuff." So they, accepted.
And they said okay.
And then we said, "Oh, well, let's just keep going with this. We should
it just kind of took off from there.
That's right. And then we were like, let's keep going. Let's just keep doing it. So that's basically how it formed. Yeah.
Now, when you were a kid, did your parents have a lot of music and stuff around the house? Is that where you?
Yeah, my dad sort of showed me the way to go with music. He kind of introduced me to the Stones, and we used to take surf trips down south, down the south of Australia.
Of course.
And we used to play the Stones and John Lee Hooker and Buddy Wolf.
I can hear. It's so funny you said that. You just did a few songs for us, and I heard John Lee Hooker in your voice a little bit, and it's so funny that you mentioned that.
Yeah. So they're my idols, and I remember listening to the 40 Licks the first time, just going, "This is amazing." So he kind of opened the door to all that. And I think the biggest one was Ray Charles as well. So and all those kind of guys, all the R&B players back then, and that he sort of shaped the way I sort of went with music. And but the other boys, we've all got kind of versatile tastes, but all mainly in that area, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because it seems a little. I don't want to say strange, because that's really not the word, but just unorthodox that maybe an Australian band from like a surfer is so rootsy, is so R&B and blues, and you guys have a really different sound from what I initially expected from an Australian band.
Yeah, it's sort of it's good because it sets us apart a little bit.
Yeah.
Australia, you get a lot of indie bands. You get Australia has a great bands, and they have a lot of versatility, but you don't see blues bands as such going around, and it does set us apart a little bit. There are a few, but not a whole lot. So yeah, it's good.
Cool. So you're going to be putting the album together, maybe trying to get a tour. Who would you like to tour with if you get the chance to tour? Who are the bands right now that you're listening to, that you're into?
In Australia or international?
Well, internationally, whatever works for you.
Oh,
As long as you don't say the Beards.
the Beards. Yeah, they're good.
They're really good. They're really good.
In Australia, probably bands like Kingswood, I think are doing great things. There's a few bands. I know the Rubens are doing quite well, and a couple others. But internationally, I don't know. Again, I love new music and all that, but I tend to just keep going back to the old stuff. And so I don't keep as up to date with new music as much as some of the other guys in the band. But yeah, bands like that, around the same kind of genre.
Okay, so one last question that I always ask all my interviewees. Your fans might know a little bit about you from your music and know what you have going on and know you in that context. What's something about you that maybe your fans wouldn't know and that they would find interesting? Do you have a pet? Do you have a secret hobby other than music?
We're all all the boys in the band are huge on their sports. We're massive sports fans, and you probably don't get that much in musicians.
Yeah, you're right, because you're so into music that there's no room for sports. It's one or the other, it seems.
So I suppose that's not that interesting, but...
Would it be Australian rules football?
It's pretty much everything.
Anything?
We sort of get really passionate about every sport we have. We each have our main team that we all support. Premier League football and rugby and everything, basketball and all sports. So I guess, as uninteresting as that is, that...
That's your answer. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate you sitting down with us and taking some time. Wish you all the luck in the world, and hopefully we'll be seeing you on our shores again very soon with the rest of the band, and rocking out and doing some great things and making some great music here. So thank you very much, and this has been David for concertblogger.com. Have a good day. Thanks.